Hi guys, good morning. Today is going to be our realistic drawing class. We're going to be using a grid today. So first thing before we start, let's say a quick prayer. Thank you, Lord, for this day that you have given us, Father. Thank you, Lord, to just have peace upon our families, peace upon us. And thank you, Lord, for just your divine pouring out of your creativity upon us, Lord. Thank you, Father, to help us to grow, continue to change in you, grow and change in our art, and continue to learn through this process, Father, that you are just, I just say peace, peace upon all of us this day. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so Miss Gia, if anybody is starting with us today and did not get an email of a printout, where can they get the printout of the grid that we're working on today?
They would have to email me because if they're not in the Facebook group where I've already posted it as a document, they might have trouble because it's not easy to find on Facebook. But if you can't find it there and you didn't get in your email, then you need to send a message to me at info@newcreationschristianacademy.org. That's our normal email. And just say, I don't have the grid, and I will reply right away with the grid.
Perfect. So if any of you guys are coming in with us today and you didn't get that email, you can do that and you can always watch this video after it's done, right? And they can get the grid after that. Okay, guys. So does everyone have their grids ready? The reference photo and the grid?
I need to interrupt though. That's only for the people who are watching this live. If you're watching the replay, I'm probably not going to be sitting at my computer all day sending grids. So just so you know, I'm not trying to ignore you.
Clarification.
I didn't have the reference photo because I couldn't print it out.
Oh, you don't have the reference photo?
No.
Oh,
I'm gonna attach them right to the chat right now.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So while you're doing that, we'll talk about supplies. Today is very easy, you guys. I have a mechanical pencil. That's sort of my go-to tool right now. I'm also going to be adding in another eraser. So I like to use the eraser on the pencil for more detail work, but if you're doing anything large, I would use this time to find an eraser that's larger. So I love this one. This is the one I use in classes. I just think it erases really smoothly, but not everyone has this eraser. This is probably the most common one that people either have or you can easily acquire at the grocery store or whatnot. It's not my favorite, but it works. So if you guys have this, you can go ahead and grab your little pink eraser and get that ready to go. Just because if you have large areas to erase, you're just going to be whittling down this eraser so quickly that you're going to want to be using a larger one. So I have my large eraser here, but then I have one more. I absolutely love my pencil eraser. If you guys have a pencil eraser, this is a good tool to just have in your kit for drawing. Doesn't matter for doing pen and ink, eyes, animals, realistic. It's just a good tool to have. So I will actually be using this one today. And I don't know, I might use this one, but I'm going to be using mostly this one today. Okay, so I've got my tools and my things ready. All right. So I want to take a quick look at our grid, you guys, and let's talk about it. So if you sent this, I want you to take a quick look. Do you see how on one side of the grid, I have this teeny tiny box, like it's maybe a quarter of an inch, and all the way on the other side, it's the full 1 inch. Make sure that your elephant and your grid are matched. Okay, so you want to make sure that the small side is matching on the elephant as well as on the grid. Okay, so that's your first step. So there is a right and a wrong way with this grid, making sure it's not upside down or something. Okay, now if we've done that, now we can start drawing. Now I did not number these when I sent them to you guys. So if you need to take that moment before you start to number the grid, the blank grid as well as the elephant grid, you can go ahead and number them. I'm not. I'm just going to be starting to count. Yes.
Wait, Miss Anna, I've never numbered it. What do you mean?
So numbering it would be like if I started down here and I make this box 1, 2, 3, and I started going all the way, and then I would do the same thing in here though. This had to be 1, 2, 3. And so I would just number both of them. It's sometimes I get some people who get a little bit lost as you get towards the main body of the picture. Yeah. And if it's numbered, sometimes people find that a little bit easier. So if you feel like you're one of those people, that is perfectly fine. Just number it. Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, and anybody
That's too much work for me.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, I attached those documents in the chat. So the next document -2 is the reference. And the next document, -1, is the grid. So if you need that, you can go to your chat and just click on that, download it, and print it out if you need it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, if most of you guys here with me today on Zoom have taken drawing classes with me before, and you've taken animal drawing with me probably before, you've seen grids, so you understand the basic concept behind it, but maybe some of you haven't done grids with me. So let's talk really briefly about why to do a grid and why there's a benefit to doing a drawing from a grid. So one of the things I like about a grid drawing is that it slows you down. So most people, when you first start drawing and it's a little bit complex, we all have in our head what we think that object looks like. So in this instance, an elephant. Maybe we have an idea in our head what it looks like. So we start to begin to draw, and we're operating off of our memory, what we believe it to be, and we're kind of maybe sort of drawing from the reference. And more times than not, then it doesn't look like the reference. So what the grid does is it slows you down, because I want you to focus on one box at a time. So as much as you are able, do not think about this as an elephant. I know you guys know it is, but try to slow down enough that you're just focusing on one box. Nothing else exists. So sometimes what I have my students do who are prone to going too quickly as well, and this might be harder to do if you guys, I'm not watching you, but they'll actually cover over boxes. So say I wanted to start with his feet, I would actually cover the rest of the elephant so that I only see the part that I'm working on. And I find that this is helpful if you feel overwhelmed. If this is like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Just cover up everything. Just leave open the area that you're working on. It can be a little less intimidating that way, okay? Now, the last thing, this other reason this is really good, because I'm looking at each individual box, what I'm kind of looking at is what's called negative space. So negative space is the space around the object that you're drawing. So if this is my foot, that's the object I'm drawing. But what I'm also looking at is this space in here, right? This is that air. It's the air around the shape. That's called negative space. And what's nice about these is because they're all in little boxes, you're thinking about the little bit of air in each box, each individual box. So I really like this exercise because you're working on not only your negative space ability as an artist, but then it's slowing you down so that you're drawing more realistically. So it has multiple purposes to it to make it a really great tool for helping you in your drawing. I will say that even now, I don't do it very often, but I've done a couple of my paintings using a grid, much larger grid, maybe like just quarters. But a lot of artists use grids much later into their careers, so it's not something you have to think of just a beginner. You can use this for a very long time. Okay, so I'm gonna start now. I'm gonna take my paper off because I don't think I really need it. So I'm gonna take the paper off.
Have a ruler.
What was the question about a ruler?
Should I use a ruler, and can I use it?
You can absolutely use a ruler. So thank you for asking that. So if you guys feel comfortable using a ruler to measure out the shapes, please do. I'm not. I don't feel that's going to be necessary for what I'm doing, but if it's comfortable for you, please go ahead. You do it. All right. So I'm going to start with my foot, you guys. So I'm going to start with the bottom foot here. I guess that'd be the left foot over here. So let's go start counting. He looks like he's 1, 2, 3, 4 in and 2 up. So I'm going to find where that box is. So it's right here. So start drawing your toes, your foot. So it looks like my foot's right about here. And I only see 2 toes in this first box. So he's got one kind of like toenail area of the elephant. I'm going to mark out where the shadow is, but I'm not going to do anything with it. The shadow is right in here. And it extends into this other box. So I'm just going to put that in. Okay, I'm moving on to now the 5th box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to recommend to you guys, you'll see me do this probably an annoying amount of times. I'm going to recount as I go along because I know I can get lost. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, at least I hope I'm not the only one. So if you find that you get lost, make sure you are recounting, a lot just to make sure you're on the same page. And if you guys are confused about an area or you have any questions, try to ask it. I will answer the best I can. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm moving on. I'm going to do the bottom sort of, I think this is his back leg back here. So he is in this box partially up the top. He really sits at the really upper corner of that box. So he's really tiny there. And then it extends into this next box. And it looks like it ends very close to the edge of the box. So when I'm doing this a lot with students and checking their work, that's the biggest thing that I do with trying to figure out if I'm in the right place, is figure out, okay, how far are you from the edge? How far are you from the top? How far are you from the corner? Try to find yourself a landmark within the box to help you figure out if you're in the right area. Okay, I'm moving up into this box here. So this is an extension of that back leg, but it also has that front right foot. So I'm going to start to sketch that out. I'm going to give a little bit of a hard suggestion for anybody wanting a challenge, as well as anybody who's taken drawing before. I want to challenge you guys to possibly do this again without a grid. So if you guys do this and you felt like that was really easy, good. Do it again without a grid. Are you laughing at me, Gia?
I think that's a great idea. And it wasn't me. It was John.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so I've drawn this box pretty good. So now I'm going to move on. I think I'm actually going to finish the foot. So I'm going to move back this way. This is not a right or wrong. This is just maybe noticing that it's easier for other people. Try to move methodically. So kind of finish a row and keep moving up. I find that if I've had students do like whole one side of the object, and I think it's just more prone to having issues. So especially if you're new to this, I would say please go methodically up the row. That way it's easier to catch if you make a mistake. All right, so I'm looking to see where this stops over here. Looks like right about here. Okay, now this is where negative space comes in handy again. I'm looking at the space between his feet, okay? It's narrow right in the middle. It's kind of like a waist, right? Skinny in the middle, and it gets wide at the top, wide at the bottom. So that should help you to identify where that other foot is and where the curve happens. This is part of the reason I have been really pushing with my students an understanding of negative space. I feel like it is so helpful, has many applications in so many different kinds of drawings and paintings. And all right, I'm going to finish the side of my foot. So I am in box 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 up. Now you guys will notice I am not doing any of the detail in the elephant at this point. I will probably come back and do that. If you want to do the detail as you go along, that's fine. I'm just not. So if it looks like I'm skipping it, it's because I am. All right, I'm working on his trunk, everybody. So I'm in box 4 up and 3 over. Feels like we're playing a game, a board game or something. What is that? Battleship? Is that?
It's also crossword puzzles.
Oh, okay. Crossword puzzles. See. How's everybody doing so far?
I'm a little behind, but I'm doing good.
Good, you're okay. You know, worst case scenario, you don't finish it right on the same schedule as me or someone else in the class. It's fine. You can just do this after class is over.
The great part about homeschooling is you can go at your own pace.
Yes. I keep saying that. I don't know, maybe it's getting annoying. We have time. We've got time, you guys.
It looks like Rhonda's family is with us now.
Oh, yay. Hi, guys. Well, I know you guys were taking animal drawing with me, so this will be fun for you guys. All right. Okay, I'm moving up my legs. Ooh, that's a loud noise. I always think about graphs as they make my brain really work. Which is why I think I talked about this in one of my other videos. I don't talk as well when I'm really having to think and focus on a drawing. I find it really hard. It's kind of why I've had some students when I'm helping them, pardon me, we're working on a project and we're fixing an area and I'm just sort of looking at their drawing. I get really quiet and then it's hard to know if what I'm thinking because I'm not saying anything. Is Gianna working with us today?
I don't know. I don't know. I can ask.
Oh, that's okay. I was just curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't see her.
No, but I heard her through the wall. She's just not on with us.
You heard her through the wall? A fun challenge that I sort of make for myself, sometimes when I'm helping students with these graphs, is part of the reason at this point I try not to use a ruler. I kind of make it a game. I try to see how close and accurate my eyeball is. So what I'll probably do when I'm close to being done today, and depending how much time we have left, I might go back with my ruler and actually check some of my lines and see how accurate I was eyeballing it. I sort of view it like my hand-eye coordination. I'm trying to see how well my eye can get the shapes right. So it's a game for me. When I'm helping students, I'll try to place things and say, I think that's where it is. And then they'll get a ruler and they'll check it. And it's sort of like I won. I'm like, woohoo! If I get it right smack dab on, but I was eyeballing it. So if it's fun once in a while for you, if you feel like, again, if you're ready for a good little challenge, try seeing how much of this you can do eyeballing it, because it's good to train your eye to see accurately the shapes.
And I don't see your phone anymore. Anna? Oh, she can't hear me.
She can't hear. I'm calling her.
Okay.
How about now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you technical questions. I had a phone call try to come through on my phone. And so I denied the phone call, but then it still dropped Zoom for me.
Ah,
So I will try to get this back attached, you guys, because I think that we probably need this. So sorry, I'm gonna try to get my phone back on.
Okay.
that's all right. People can catch up.
Okay. Right, and then I'm gonna mute it and I'll put you on my phone again because I think the sound is better there. All right, can we hear me?
Yeah, there's just kind of an echo. There was an echo.
Okay. Okay.
I think you need to mute your computer or turn off the volume.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Maybe you guys are ahead of me now, which is good. I'm finishing up his trunk as well as I was starting to get to his tusks. Yes, I'll have to ask you later, Mr. John, how to keep from my phone dumping off me off Zoom if I get a phone call.
I think maybe just put it on airplane mode when we start.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, technical difficulties of living a life on doing all of our work from our phone. How's everybody doing so far? Are you guys getting any challenging areas, or are you guys making fine progress? Everyone good? I'll try to see if I can see your, very good, thank you. I get good thumbs ups, good. Good, good, all right. There will be a little bit of shading in this, so especially for anybody who's taken animal before, again, or you feel up for the challenge, we're going to be doing a little bit of shading because I think that you guys need the practice always, so that's going to be good. And if I get this done fast enough, we'll just do it together really quickly.
What's the white pencil for?
The light pencil, do you mean this one?
The white colored pencil.
Oh, do you mean for later? Do you mean like an actual white pencil like this?
Yeah, what's it for?
That's going to be for the next class. So that won't be for this one. That will be for the eye project, okay?
Okay.
But
And I'll talk, if we have time, I'll talk about it after we're done with this one, Kayla. Sorry, Mr. John, did I cut you off?
no, I'm okay.
Something I wanted to tell you guys too while you're working there. You can actually make your own grid. So if you guys have a project at home, and I always am encouraging you guys, draw, 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 or whatever it is that you like to do art-wise. So if it's painting, if it's drawing, if it's, I don't know, one of like John's classes, stop motion, animation, whatever it is, you should be doing little projects all the time. So if it's drawing, I want to see you guys practicing all the time. And one of the things that's nice to do is if you have a reference, which I like to draw from references when I did a lot of art in younger years, still do. But I would have a reference and I'd be like, oh, I love this reference. It's, you know, it's a little hard. I feel a little bit confused how to do it, but I really wanted to do it. One of the things that I wish I had known then that I know now is that you can make your own graph. So if there is something you want to draw, you want to paint, you can graph it. And it's pretty easy. You can do it by yourself, but if you need help, maybe mom or dad can help you. You just need a ruler and you need to make a grid. And I just did mine. I'm not terribly math savvy, so it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. That's why there's that little weird margin along the side that's tiny, because I just made all my boxes 1 inch, and then that's the leftover space is at the corner. If you guys are not as math savvy like I am, that's what I did. I just made 1 inch boxes all the way across, and that's why that leftover space. And then I just did the same thing on whatever my picture was that I wanted to do, which this one was the elephant. And then I did exactly the same measurement, it was 1 inch. And I did all the way across and I inked everything. That's why nice harsh lines. Just make sure that if you're doing an original reference paper, you make a photocopy of it, because otherwise it's going to be inked forever. But you can make your own grid at home. So I would challenge you guys to possibly find something that you like to do, something that you want to do, and grid it.
I'm a big math fan.
You're a what fan?
Big math fan.
Make a map?
No, I'm really good at math.
Oh, you're really good at math. Oh, excellent. See, that was not my strong suit as a kid.
Yeah, I got in background.
That's good. You got your gift of art and a gift of math. That's good. I am like the only person in my family. I think I've told some of you guys before. There are 5 siblings. I'm the 4th one, and they are all of them are math savvy. And then there was me. That might be too long, but I'll come back and check it. I don't know if you guys can see where I'm at. So I'm about halfway. It looks like I'm done with everything on the bottom. It looks like I just have to finish up this other tusk, and then I'll be working towards the upper half, towards his head. So I don't know where everybody else is right now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lena, how are you doing? I see some of my previous animal students. This should seem very familiar ground. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm very behind.
You're very behind. That's
Me
okay,
too.
Anna. Who said me too?
Ugh, me. I'm very behind. Yeah. But yeah.
That's okay. Like I said before, if you guys don't finish this during the, I don't know, usually we work about an hour, but you guys don't finish it, that's okay. What I might be doing is I don't know, maybe someone's further along than me. But what I might do is I kind of treat it like tests sometimes. I get like the body of it done. And I don't just mean because this is an animal and it's a body, but like the majority of a picture done. And then sometimes I will come back to it at some point and I will try to figure out if I've made too many mistakes or maybe an area wasn't quite right. I will come back and fix it before I'm done. So I don't know. I like tests. I get most of it and then I spend the additional, 30 minutes that you have left of your test time and I go back and I fix mistakes.
We got some people showing theirs. I want to look at those, Anna.
Okay, let me put my head up. Okay, I'm ready.
Show again, Addison.
Evelyn, that looks really good. You are faster than me. So it looks, I'm trying to look at my picture real quick, sweetie.
Here comes that.
That looks really good.
And then
Excellent, Evelyn. That's really good.
Okay.
who else?
Addison.
Addison?
Oh, there. Okay, two. You tell them what order you're going to do it in. Because I don't know.
What is this?
There's Kayla,
Oh, here we go.
Addison.
There we go.
Okay, this is Addison. Okay. Oh my gosh, you started shading too and everything. Okay. Hold on, hold it there. As I'm looking at my reference. That looks good. Yes, it's a little long, sweetie. The tip of your ear, yep, you saw that. Very good. It's a little long. Everything else at a glance looks good. So just fix that tip. Okay, I'm ready for the next one. Okay, Kayla, why don't you hold it back just a little bit, sweetie, so I can see a bit more of it. Okay. At a glance, sweetie, that looks really good. So I know you're not quite done with that ear, but go ahead and finish that up. That looks good.
Anna's next.
Okay.
Can you see this even?
I can't. It's really blurry.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
That's okay. We'll figure out how to get a picture from you
But-
later, maybe.
It's just the lighting in the room is
Yeah.
kind of hard to see it.
Are you near? Maybe next time, if you could be near a window or if you have a lamp, so we can get
In the
some-
front.
Yeah. But that's good for now. Was there one other, or was that it?
Is Caleb done?
Or is AP? Are you ready for me to see it, sweetie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Okay, hold still.
Hold still. These kids are good.
I know, you guys. I am so impressed. Very good, honey. Was there anybody else, or is that good for right now? Because now I'm behind.
Is Caleb? Is Caleb there? There's Caleb. Upside down.
Could you
but-
turn it around for me, Caleb? So, Caleb, this looks fantastic. You have made it small, which is perfectly fine. It looks like you've actually made it remarkably in proportion, but it's not following the graph. Can you see what I mean? So like the top of my elephant is almost the top of my paper, and the top of your head is like 2.5 or 3 boxes down. Can you see that, Caleb?
Oh.
So this is fine. So this is an opportunity for you. You could just finish it if you want and be done, or you could do it again and try to make it actually fill the boxes like the reference. But nice job, Caleb.
And then, did Lena show hers?
I feel like no. Lena, are you ready for me to take a look?
Yeah, I'm behind. But I
That's
still
okay,
wanna
Lena.
get.
I'm behind too, so. Lena.
Oh,
Good. Hold on.
I'm
Hold on.
pretty behind.
Sweetie, you got more shading than I do, so you're good. Okay. Lena, that looks really good.
Okay.
Fantastic. Good job. And I like that you have it on a sketch pad.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll keep going since now I'm really behind. So you guys have done really well. So I saw that a lot of you were practically done with your picture. So if you were practically done, and I'm not, I've got a lot left to do, you can start working on the shading. So there is very gentle shading going on here. So what I want to see you guys do, I'm just going to draw an imaginary shape here. You're going to take your pencil and it's very close together. This is how you shade kind of quick, sketchy sort of look. You're just taking your lines close together and you're just filling in areas where you see shade. So if you are at that point, you go ahead and start doing that. I'm not there yet, so I'm going to keep working so I can get to my picture.
Plus there's detail.
Who was that? What?
Me, Kayla. Plus there's detail.
Yes. So start working on those details.
In the email, it said we needed graphite. I have graphite, but what parts would we need it for?
So graphite refers to this pencil. So this is graphite. There's usually the difference is, let's see, do I have any? I don't have any. So there is charcoal, which is a different kind of pencil. It is much messier and looser. That's charcoal, which I don't have one. Maybe I can go grab one later. And then this is graphite. It's just the difference between the two kinds of pencils, sweetie. So if it ever says graphite, it just means something like this or like this, or the Ticonderogas, that nice yellow pencil that I use a lot in class. That's also graphite. It just refers to like a drawing pencil.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm hurrying. Now I'm really behind. How are we doing on time, Miss Gia or John?
It's 11:15 or 11:13, so you still have plenty of time before even the first hour is up.
Excellent. If you could just give me updates on how that's doing, because I have no comprehension of what time it is. I should probably have a clock near me. Oh wait, my laptop has a clock. So some of my Speedy Gonzalez students here who have worked really fast, I'm going to really make sure I challenge you, and I want to see you guys do this again with no graph. So if you finished really quickly, awesome. Your prize, you got to do it again.
Now I'm glad I'm in between.
Are you saying you don't want the prize of doing it again?
Depends. I tend to be quite busy.
Fair enough. How many of you guys are going to be able to join me for either the portrait or the pen and ink lesson later? Anybody going to be able to join in for that?
I'm doing both of them.
Oh, you are? Good.
I'm going to be joining the pen and ink class.
Good. That'd be good, Lena.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll join it. I don't know about the portrait, but
I have no idea.
I'm doing the portrait.
Did you say you're sick of portrait?
No, I'm doing the portrait.
I thought you're like, I'm sick of portrait. I was like, oh, well, okay.
And I want to do the pen and ink, but I can't today.
Okay, that's fine. I think that we are still putting these online. So if you missed the lesson and you really wanted to do it, you can always do them later. Something to see about this elephant too. If you are a pen and ink lover, which I think a few of you here are, you could always put in the information needed in pencil, and then you could always come back and actually do this in ink instead of pencil. So as an option, keep that in mind. If you love pen, you can always come back and do this in pen and ink. Because this is basically just squiggly lines in a few areas, and then the technique is hatching. So it's pretty easy. It's kind of like our tree that we did last week. I hope that you guys have been getting outside and getting some sunshine. It has been so pretty. I've been able to take my dog out for a walk every day, I think this whole last week, and he's been loving it.
Yeah, I've been working in the yard with my parents, getting everything all pretty.
Yeah, I actually love yard work. I don't know, I'm kind of a gardener, so I love being outside and getting in the dirt. I find it very therapeutic. I feel like, gardening and landscaping can be another form of expression of art. It's textures, it's colors. So I actually really enjoy gardening.
We have the weirdest conversation in Hillsborough realistic drawing.
Do we? Well, how does it compare these days? I think our conversations have been pretty normal.
They get quite random.
Even these?
And not in realistic drawing Hillsborough.
Oh, okay. Just in school.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. Was that mostly you, Kayla, or was that other people?
I'm pretty sure it's me.
You always have fun things to talk about.
I need to go sharpen my pencil.
Go for it. We'll still be here. If you guys have a handheld sharpener, or I don't know, maybe it's an electric or something. I have a handheld. I have it actually right near me in class. So I have this little guy. I like him. He's my double hole sharpener. I know there's ones that are enclosed that actually catch all of the pencil shavings. Those are really nice. I just don't have one with me. But if you have something like this, they're good to have around. I keep mine with me while I work.
Ziploc bags.
What's that, Kayla?
I just keep mine in Ziploc bags.
Oh yes, all the junk, all the pencil shavings.
Sharpen it in the bag.
Yes. I put mine on scrap paper. So I think I've gone with that or through that with you guys a lot in class.
Yeah,
If you guys are sharpening, I put it on a blank piece of paper so it keeps the mess off the table. All right, I'm almost done. What was that, Lena?
I've just been getting into using just mechanical pencils.
Me too.
Because it's easier. And you don't get the dull, yeah.
I hear you. That's kind of why I've been using mechanical pencils so often these days. I'm actually really enjoying them. But if you talk to different artists, everyone's got their preference. Yeah, some people are like, no, I never use a mechanical. And I think use what you're comfortable with. And then sometimes there are, tools for the job, so to speak. But I think mechanical is pretty useful most of the time. That's why I get them out pretty much every time I would be in class. Mechanicals always came out because I just find them really useful.
Look how mine's coming along. Look at mine.
Kayla, that's looking really good, sweetie.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I am going in now and beginning to draw out all of my little shapes because the elephant has a lot of shapes inside. So I'm not just talking about like the overall shape of the elephant, but all these like wrinkles and marks like that. I'm going through and I'm trying to find them all.
Elephants are quite wrinkly.
Elephants are quite wrinkly. I don't know if anyone's ever seen, there's a lot of artists who do like hyper realistic elephant drawings or paintings or whatnot. My gosh, they're beautiful because they have so many wrinkles.
Miss Anna, it's 11:22, and I just realized that you probably do need to end pretty close to 11:30 because then you would have a little bit of time for lunch before your 12:30 class.
Okay, so I just finished the elephant, so let's talk about then the shading. And yes, we'll just finish up, Miss Gia. That way I can get my lunch and maybe you guys can get lunch too. So let's take a look here. I don't know if I can see him well enough. I haven't drawn him terribly hard, but he's all finished out. So here's what I want you guys to do when we're done today. Some of you are either close to being done or you're all the way done with your drawing. I want to see a couple of things. One, I want to see you come back and deepen. So like around his ear, it's very dark. So I'd come back and it's even a little bit thicker. And once you like where it's at, I want you to really establish it out and get that to really pop. I also want you to come in and start working on the shading. So let's start with a little tiny area in here. So I would reestablish the line. So I'd make sure that I liked where it was at and I would thicken it up. And let's show you how to do a little bit of that sketchy fill in. The reason I like for us to practice that sketchy fill in style, I find it really useful, especially for quick sketches. So at some point, you know, we started doing it a little bit in our drawing class before we had to leave. Drawing quickly, you have to learn how to get the point across for what's happening shade wise, but you don't want to be spending oodles of time working on the shading. So we're telling you what's happening with our drawing, with our sketching, but it's quick. And that's kind of what this elephant is. Okay, so here is my ear. I've kind of sketched out, made this a little bit darker. I'm gonna come in with my pencil and I wanna see you guys give me shade like this. So it's relatively quickly, but you'll notice that I'm keeping my pencil lines pretty close together. And then in here, he's got additional texture in some places. Do you see how he's got additional dark coming through here? So I would come through and I would do layer 1. So I'm gonna try just really quick for you. I would do layer 1 and then I would come back and I would do another layer for where this little dark areas are happening. So a lot of the elephant, he's got actually 2 layers going on, especially through here and through here, where you see like the darker sections. It's a darker piece of line that's sitting on the top of your first layer of shade, if that makes sense. What time would you like us to call quits today, Miss Gia? Just like right at 11:30?
Well, that's really up to you. You just need to realize that you would be cutting into your and everyone else's lunch break. So
We don't
it's up
need
to you how
lunch
fast
breaks.
you can eat your lunch.
Not very fast. So I'll probably end at 11:30.
Us kids can eat lunch during class.
What was that, Kayla?
Us kids can eat lunch during class if we need.
They can, but I can't.
Mhm.
Somehow I think that a mouthful of food while I'm teaching might not be so good. I just had to move my nose over, you guys. My nose is, or no, it's my horn. Yeah, horn? Yeah. Tusk? Maybe tusk is a better word. As always, you guys, I really do. We love to see your guys' work. So if you're done with these at some point, if you want to post your picture on the comment section of the elephant video, it's really fun for us to see what you did. So if you're up for that, we always like seeing it. All right, so we are just about at 11:30, it looks like. Does anybody have any last minute questions that they need some guidance on, or anything that they're confused about?
Tools for the next class. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I want to know. Plus, probably everyone else wants to know.
Wants to know what, Kayla?
What are the tools for the next class?
What are the tools for the next class? Okay, so the next class is portrait. So here's what we're going to be doing. Yes, the eyes. So we're going to be working on is doing 2 eyes side by side in a drawing. So you're going to need a mechanical pencil, just like we've been using all along this process. You're also going to need a blending stump or that cotton swab, which I think my cotton swab just got tossed. So I have to get a new one. A cotton swab or a blending stump. You will also need an additional eraser. I'm just trying to get that habit of you guys. You can use always the eraser attached to your mechanical, but I'll be trying to actually use a separate eraser. So eraser, you'll need a pencil, you'll need a blending stump. You will also need a white pencil. Now I practice, and I will get the other projects that I did for this tutorial on eyes. And we're gonna talk about pencils briefly. You're gonna need either a Crayola white pencil, or my preference is a Prismacolor, and the preference is only because the colors show up so much brighter. I mean, it's like night and day difference. Oh, you have it, Addison? Looks like you're pointing to it. Do you have it? Oh, very good. Excellent. This is
technically my mom's set, but I have it.
You have it too, Kayla? Good. Like I said, this is my preference, and I will show you the difference. The color intensity of the whites are, I mean, they're night and day. They're huge. So if all you have is a Crayola, it will work. I'm not saying it won't. It definitely will. But this, just the payoff is so much better if you've got this guy laying around. So you'll need a white pencil, a regular pencil, a blending stump, and an eraser. And I did use a ruler, I think. I used a ruler or I used a pencil. So if you have a ruler or just your pencil, that's fine. And then lastly is some kind of what they call toned paper. This, you guys, is just construction paper. So if all you have laying around is some construction paper for arts and crafts, grab a color that you like the looks of. I think my options were green or pink or brown. I wasn't so sure I wanted to do green. So I grabbed more of this kind of tan, orangey color. I thought it was the most natural looking one. But whatever you want is going to be good. So just grab the paper you're most, I don't know, interested in the color behind it. I will talk briefly later about the differences of paper, but we'll talk about that in the next class.
Miss Anna.
Yep.
If we don't have construction paper, can we use our recycled bag like we talked about before?
Yes, and I will have the demo of that as well. Thank you, Miss Gia, for reminding me. If all else fails and you don't have any of those different kinds of paper, yes, a paper bag will also work. So if that's all you have, cut it up, bring it, and we'll be using that as well.
You could go all out, help Crayola, and use Crayola construction paper.
You could use Crayola all the way. All right, so I think that's going to be it for today because we're going to run out of time. If you guys can, please join me for a portrait video at 12:30. Looks like is that a hand, Lena? Do you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say that I finished.
You finished? Okay, let me look real quick before we log off. Let me see.
All right.
Lena, that looks really good. Let me see. I'm holding up my pictures. Hold on. I think you were the one who brought the ear up, weren't you?
Nope.
Nope, somebody else. Okay. Your tusk looks short, but it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's just distorted. Check your
Which one?
The shorter one, the one that looks broken.
Oh,
Check
okay.
it. It looks a little short, but maybe it's just distorted.
All right.
Good.
Mine.
And then just check your eyeball. So the eyeball sitting on top of the broken tusk. Check it. So we can't talk about it too long, you guys, but eyes on animals, you always have to establish whether or not they are round. Sometimes they are round, and sometimes they're very almond shaped and they're like tipped. So make sure you're looking at your animal to see what kind of eye it is. If it's a tipped eye, if it's a very round eye. Sometimes birds like have very good round eyes. So check the eye. He has a tipped eye. So his eyes are just much tipped like that. So make sure everyone to check your eyes and make sure they're tipping at a slight angle.
Look at mine.
Look at
So look
Caleb.
So let's sign off of Facebook.
Okay.
Say goodbye to everybody there, and then they can
Okay.
ask more questions later.
All right. So thank you guys for watching Facebook Live for the drawing tutorial. We'll see you later for the portrait class. Thanks, guys.